phone up in the thing here. This is my first time going live on this channel since I've reached over 1,000 subscribers. I think, maybe. Sorry, trying to get everything situated here because I was unaware of how quickly it makes you go live after you say you're going live. So, hello everyone. Get my ring light started here. So, I am currently sick, so that's fun. Actually, I kind of lied. Not entirely sick right now. I was sick, I believe stomach bug, yesterday, and today I am just kind of waiting for my 24 hours fever free so I don't get the babies sick. So yeah, I'll be good within like 2 hours, I think. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now. So when I was in New York, of course, I'm sure you guys saw that video. When I was in New York, I was working on this journal. Actually, I was working on a lot of journals, but this is one of them that I took to work on. And so what I did was I collaged the front. The cover is just made out of some very grungy coffee dyed paper, just text weight copy paper. Sewn, it's got some Tim Holtz washi on it. It's reinforced spine. Um, got some old, I believe, 1800s um, hymnal paper. It's got some sewn buttons on here. A little bit of cheesecloth and, you know, some Edith Holden cutouts and a little grungy gel printed what's it called, sheet music. There we go. And so yeah, that's kind of what we got going on the front here. Now this journal will be in my Etsy whenever I decide that I want to put it up on my Etsy, but for now that's what we've got. So flip open, and what I wanted to do with this journal was keep it very neutral and also very open to interpretation, and kind of keeping it where you're able to make it your own, right? Because I wanted to make sure that, sorry, I'm trying to do two different things here. Trying to get it so I can see the chat, if it'll let me. And it's not going to let me. Cool. So, but I wanted to keep it open to interpretation so that you're able to make it your own and add in some things that, you know, I don't know, maybe you wanted to add in, right? So that includes, you know, putting up a whole bunch of, you know, more color on this, or really including kind of whatever you want to include. So enough with that. So on each of these, I made what I call book plates, which is kind of a terrible name for it, but it makes sense for me. So what I've got here is a McGuffey's Eclectic Spelling Book, okay, and this one, revised edition, but I believe this one was from the 1800s or like the very early 1900s. I love it because I just love the old look. I love that it's actually vintage. It's not, you know, a copy or anything. Also put some more Tim Holtz washi there because I just love it. But here's some layered goodness. Now, this book plate idea, right? What I've done, let me turn my ring light a little bit because that's going to bug me. There we go. So, what I do with these book plates is I stitch around them, and I make them, you know, collage, layered, whatever, and then I will stitch them, or sometimes glue them, but these ones are stitched on a page in a signature, right? So, kind of like this, I initially made this and backed it, and then I sewed it again on the cover, right? And you can see that right here. That's the stitching on the back. So that's kind of what I call a book plate. Sometimes you can make them into pockets or tucks, but I didn't do that with these just because I didn't want to. But with this one, you can see there's many different layers. Let me see here. So here's the actual page. Ooh, sorry for the shaky. Here's the actual page. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers right here. And you can see some of these. Sorry if you can hear my baby screaming upstairs. Um, so here's one of, an old book page, and then you can see those. And so these are all just a complete hodgepodge of pages. And I left some of these strings long, just because I like to do that. And so now we're getting into where Gayle's Grunge actually lives, right? I didn't use all of the pages. I didn't use any of the ephemera from my kit because, again, I wanted to leave that open to interpretation and keep it pretty much a neutral journal except for the colors that I used. So you can see, all of these pages. I even debated today while I was, again, getting over being sick, and so I was thinking, what can I do to kind of make a mess before I have to be a parent again? And so I was thinking, do I want to do splatters of oxides or inks? No, I don't, because the entire point of what I wanted to do with this journal from the very beginning is I wanted to have it very grungy, very dirty almost. You can see the dye there and everything, and all the Wow Studios tape, you know, looks like old tape. And then there's these nice teal and yellow accents throughout the book, right? So that's what I wanted to do. I also used this little part. I've had this specific right here made for a long time. Originally, it was going to look like this, and then I decided I would just turn it on its side. Again, you could make these into tucks or pockets or something, but I did not do that with this one. Um, and then there's another paper from the kit. Put a little paper doily here on the sheet music and some, I believe this is Tim Holtz, maybe. I don't know. Paper right here. And then much of the same over here, just sewn all over the paper, kind of messy. My thought here is that you could put something like a flip here, right? Again, page from my kit. And so I really wanted to make it pretty grungy. So we've got some dictionary pages here and some jelly printing, and all of the jelly printing that I've added in this specific journal is actual jelly print. A um, it's not a copy, it's not Photoshop, nothing. You can actually feel the texture and everything. So here's some crumpled paper. It's also graph paper. I don't know if you can really tell. Then here's some very, very, very grungy hymnal paper. Here is some, I believe, I can't remember. I know I got this from someone on Instagram, probably Donkey Journal Paper Love. But this is some handwritten paper from, 1800s, early 1900s, something like that. And here's some of that as well. And so, again, I made it very, very grungy. I made the journal incredibly grungy just for this reason, because I wanted it to be able to be open to interpretation, and I want someone to get this and be able to feel free to use it, right? Because sometimes we get something, and if it's so pristine, we don't want to use it because we worry that we'll mess it up or whatever. But that's not the case, and that's not really, what we're going for here. I want someone to be able to use it, and yeah. So this is kind of a use it up journal for me. You know, working at my stash a bit at a time, working at the jelly prints that I made, and stuff that I didn't even really like. Like this is one of them that I wasn't that big a fan of, but um, took, I ripped off the portion, kind of isolated the portion that I thought was the best, and then went to um, collaging with it, and this is kind of what I came up with. So this little flip here, some dictionary page on the back and everything. Um, so yeah, you can see, a lot of coffee dyed paper, just kind of torn, however, to fit in the book. And then there's this that's also got some coffee dyeing on it. After the fact, after I bound the journal, that's why these are kind of crumpled a little bit, and this has, because it's been laying open. And this, some of the ink doesn't look quite right compared to the rest of the kit, but that's also adds to the grunge factor, right? So I wanted it to be grungy again. Now here's some more of that jelly printing and sewing and everything, so you can really kind of get an idea about the texture there. So now, will I make more journals using my Gayle's Grunge kit? Maybe. I don't know. I just haven't really decided yet. And so here's, I was going to see if there was anything in the chat, but I don't believe there is, or I'm just not seeing it. So here's a little card I made. It was, kind of like the other piece. It was originally going to be like that, but I figured it also looked really neat to be like this in the book itself. Now this I did make into a pocket, and this was just another kind of masterboard type of deal that I made. It is just a segment of a very large piece that I made, and I decided I'd cut that up, and I really like that type here and there and the old ephemera. So yeah, you can see here where I've reinforced this spine. I've stitched mainly where this tape is and everything. Again, the tape is from Wow Studio, and yeah, so that is my Gayle's Grunge journal. So thank you all for hanging out with me. Like I said, this will likely be going on my Etsy whenever I feel up to putting things on my Etsy. Not because I'm sick, but just because, or getting over being sick, but because of, I just don't like listing things on Etsy, because I feel like some things you can put very little information on and it sells immediately. Some things you put, tons of information on that sits there. Or you can put tons of information on and it sits there, or you can put tons of information on and it sells fast, and you can barely put any information on and it'll sit there. So there's really no right or wrong way, I guess, but it's irritating to think, oh great, now I've got to sit here and write a description about what this book is, especially after you do a video on it. So, but that's my own, issue with me just having to sit down and do the computer work instead of crafting. So anyway, yeah, so like I said, thanks you all for joining me. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and like I said, I very well might be making another journal like this, but I'm going to focus some more efforts here in the near future on doing some more mixed media. I've got some mixed media canvas stuff in the work. Check out my Instagram. And also doing some more Photoshop, because I think that Gayle's Grunge kit was a fantastic introductory one, but I want to make it even better next time. So we're gonna go through and probably make a masculine kit. So anyway, like I said, thank you all for joining me. Have a great day. See you later.